Hello everyone, my name is Cecilia Janice Septiane and I am from the International Relations major of Batch 2020, and today I will be sharing my experience as an IISMA awardee of Batch 2022 to the University of Sydney. So last year, I got the opportunity to be one of IISMA's awardees to the University of Sydney. Being in the very first batch of Australian awardees had its own struggles and challenges. Since the border of Australia just opened and I became the first batch of IISMA awardees to Australia, I find out that I actually have doubts and I feel very confused when preparing for my departure. I did not have anyone to ask to, and all my friends and I could do were just trusting the process and following the directions given by IISMA. But thankfully, UNPAR's international office was always there to help me and to answer all my questions and doubts, and I want to thank everyone in the international office for your help. So first of all, I would like to share about the courses that I took during my time in Sydney. So there are 4 courses in total that I took. The first one is Learning in Outdoor Education, which is basically about experiential learning. With this course, I got to go on 2 field trips. The first one is to the Royal National Park and the second one is to the Blue Mountains National Park. And honestly, what I learned throughout this experience is something that I could never have gotten in any other courses. We got to learn about ourselves, nature, and also about the people around us through these outdoor activities. And I personally think that Indonesia needs more of this kind of course to help the students learn through their experiences. The second course that I took is Cross-Cultural Management. I really enjoyed this course not just because of what I learned from it, but because of the diverse nationality of the students in the class. And as a fun fact, in my class, there were only 4 or 5 students from Australia, and the others, out of 30 students, were from different parts of the world. And it's very interesting for me. In this course, I also learned about how to manage and organize a working environment when working with people from different countries. We also looked at different working ethics and styles between people in different countries and how to solve those differences to make an effective and enjoyable team, mainly for the purpose of a multinational company. For the third course that I took is called Working in Digital Ecosystems. This course taught me about the digital environment. Not only did it tell me about making a social media strategy and also Bitcoins, but it also helped me to hone my soft skills through impromptu presentations in tutorial classes. So usually the lecturer would just ask us to do a presentation about a thing in the digital term, and then we would be given like around 5 to 10 minutes to prepare for it. And I think it's a very great exercise for us to hone our public speaking and presentation skills. And also, I actually have never thought of taking a course of this kind, but now that I did, I am very grateful for it since I got new information and knowledge about the digital world. For the last course that I took is actually quite similar to the one that UNPAR offered in its International Relations major, which is called Global America. At first, I thought that it would be very similar to the one here at UNPAR, but after I talked with a few friends, I found out that they have their differences. So the course that I took at USyd is actually more broad in topics, and we do not only talk about the politics and the government of the US, but we also talked about things like political influence of Hollywood movies, namely through Marvel movies, and also we talked about feminism, racism, and also about immigrants in the US. So the next thing that I would like to share with you all is about the activities that I did outside of the program. Besides focusing on my studies, I also used my time to try and explore new things. Well, most of the time, I try to visit new places that I have not seen yet, especially the Sydney Opera House, in which it turned out to be one of my favorite places. Also, I got to have some quality time with my fellow IISMA awardees, where we usually visited new places that we all wanted to see. And of course, I use my time to gain new friends and expand my network, be it with international friends from my classes or even fellow Indonesian students from church and other universities around Sydney. There are no words to express how grateful I am to be given the chance to do all these things during my time in Sydney. So the last thing that I would like to share with you all is about the hardships that I faced during my time there. And honestly, yes, I faced lots of hardships, and my ISMA experience is not always about the rainbows and butterflies. But yes, I got to deal with some struggles as well. And one of the hardest things that I faced during my experience is dealing with the reading materials given for tutorial class. So in Indonesia, we might be given books to be read or even other reading materials in the beginning of the semester, but the lecturer would usually sum it all up in the class's presentations. However, in the University of Sydney, one of the courses required me to read all the reading materials beforehand, in which the total may vary from 5 journals and books to even more each week. And reliving my life there in my head, I think that would be the hardest struggle I face, since honestly I'm not the reading type of person, but I was forced to do so in order to understand the discussion in class. Because in this class there were no presentations by the lecturer, and it is a discussion-based class. But after doing that for 12 weeks, I learned to be more appreciative of the reading materials given, and I learned how helpful it actually was for me to understand the topic. And as of now, I'm trying to push myself to keep this habit here at UNPAR.